the Desert Tiger Podcast.
Hey.
Hello, Lexie. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I am great, dude. Having a fantastic day so far. I mean, can't complain.
That's good. I looked outside today. That was my big day. I was like, oh, it's sunny. Good. And that's what I've done today.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I haven't made it outside yet either. It's like only 9:30 here, but it's definitely sunny here too. So that's...
Oh, no, it's like 12:30 here. So yeah. Oh, man. I'll go outside one day, one day.
One day. I mean, sometimes it's nice to be cozy though too, right?
Oh, yes, yes. I just realized how monochrome I am. Check this out. I like green screened myself into the background. That's awesome.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it.
How have you been?
I've been like crazy busy. I've been doing really, really well since the last time we talked, which I think was like what, January of last year?
Yeah, I mean 40 years ago, effectively. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Since the glitter freeze.
Yes, the glitter freeze. I love that word for that.
It's a much more positive way to say it.
Yes, I like your positive outlook. I'm trying to adopt the same. It's becoming harder by the day, but we're gonna figure it out.
That's okay. That's okay. I mean, it's a work in progress, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
Exactly. All right. So you've been good?
Yeah, we've been creative, like crazy. Like there was like a quirk in us for a while, and we were like, nothing is creative. We can't think about music. Like just the world is ending. And now, I don't know, we're just like putting it all into song, and it's really coming out. It's crazy. It's like every day there's like a new idea, and we're just chasing that dragon. So yeah.
That's good. It's good. I mean, I can understand like why there would be a little bit of time of being like you don't want to create after having just released an album, being on tour, and then everything gets shut down.
Yeah. And then we were like, oh, like, should we promote this in COVID? They were like, no, man, like there's no place for this right now. I don't want to be that person that's like, also I released it out. Like, who cares? Like Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? Yeah. When life goes back to normal, I will be more than happy to start selling vinyl again. And until then, I'm just like sitting here in my little bubble, waiting to get vaccinated.
Yes, definitely waiting for that too. I actually signed up today, so.
Oh, good for you. That's awesome. I'm not eligible yet, but as soon as I am, I will be there.
It's weird how like it's done by province, and every province is at like a completely different stage.
Yeah. We're close. I think, I reveal my age. I think I'm 29, but I'm about to be 30. So 30 is this year. So 30 plus is the 17th. So I can sign up that day. But I don't think I'll get it till like June or something. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. But once you get it, then you're going to be out there selling vinyl, playing shows. Yeah.
So you're running around on the streets like, ah! Yeah.
Slayer!
Yeah. Just playing shows on my driveway. Like, yes, that's the way. I don't even have a driveway. Oh, can I swear today?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I hate editing swearing out of my brain. It's almost impossible. It's part of the language now. So
Come on, we're both adults. I mean, I'm past 30 already, so... Well, I am 30.
there you go.
But...
Are you 91 or 90?
90.
I'm 91.
Ooh,
and
the
next big thing.
Dang, the new edition.
The new edition, yeah. I love millennial vibes for us. It's so cute, us trying to be Gen Z now. I purposefully didn't do a center part today because I'm rocking the old school, like, millennial hair swoop. That's like a thing.
I still haven't found out a different hairstyle other than the faux hawk since like
you as a male,
like
I think you're
years.
solid. You could do like a tight fade, and then you'd be like modern. It's like the difference of like a millimeter of hair for you makes it modern. It's so funny. I love that.
So true. So true. All right. So we're here to connect today again to dive a little bit into some more music because Dream Riot isn't done yet.
Dream Riot's not done. Dream Riot's barely started effectively. Yeah. We had to resurface with a song that we've already released, which is really cool.
And it's a song that we didn't talk about last time that we did get to connect. So I'm very excited to do this. And it sounds like it's a very powerful and meaningful song for you. So I'm very excited to dive into exactly what it means. So, at what point did this exposed version of the blame finally begin to take shape? When did you decide? Because you had already, with this song, sort of tackled it in a veiled way, but now you're tackling it in a much more forward way. So when did that begin to form inside of you?
I mean, that goes back to like, how was COVID for you? Basically, it's the same question because like the first 4 months of COVID, I was like, I have like a little backyard and I was laying rocks into the ground, just like we had all pea stone. I was redoing it. I was like, okay, I'm going to make like a stony path kind of thing. And with every stone I laid to the ground, I was like literally taking my thoughts and my dreams and desires and like putting them to rest in the dirt, being like, everything's over. Like, we're never going to get to do music anymore. This is wild. Like, it's all going to be too late by the time this stuff ends. Like, so crazy, right? And that went on for 4 months of like a general depression. And then I like found a way to exercise myself from that in a demonic sense, not in a gym sense. And and then basically the evolution of the blame started there. So I sort of found a way to open myself up introspectively in COVID, which is something I don't think I would have been able to do that if not for COVID. So there is actually a silver lining in all of this, at least for me, because I had enough time to like reflect and think and just like question, if that was enough, right? Because the first time we put out the blame, like, I don't know if like, I guess at this point we should reveal what it's about, but it's about sexual abuse from my past. And this went on from when I was 11 years old all the way to when I was 17 years old. So a significant portion of my life and formative years at that. And right before COVID started, I only just told my parents. Like, I only just came out to my parents about the fact that that even happened. They had no idea. I came out to the fact that to them about that I was bi, even though I'm married now to a man. And like just like a bunch of stuff. I was like, you know what, I'm an adult now. I'm going to connect with these people in a different way. So it bubbled to the surface and I was like, okay, that's enough. And then we released the Dream Riot record and I had the blame on there, even though, like you said, it was extremely veiled and like hidden in like an EDM song, which didn't really suit the lyrics in the slightest, if I'm honest. It's a cool song, but like it doesn't tell the story. It just says the word. And I was like, okay, that'll be enough. It's out there. That's enough for me. And then, those 4 months went by and I had time for that to bubble back up. And I'm like, it's not done yet. Right. So then we found a little bit of funding from Factor and in a relatively safe part of COVID in an extremely safe way with a very small and highly sought after, amazing crew of people. We filmed a music video for this song. And I was actually filming the music video for The Blame, like the original version on the Dream Riot record, which was so weird. I was like ready to go into that. I had like little dance choreographed and stuff like to that other music. And I was like, something's not right. Like, this isn't working. This isn't fitting. And the month before we started filming the video, I took John's hands and I was like, John, like, do you think we can redo this? Like, I don't know if I can live with myself coming out with this song again in a way that's like not complete. Like, I can't handle it. So what do you think? And he's like, let's do it. So we tore it apart. We had only a month, which is wild, to work on like intense production for this. And we worked on the production with our producer, Mark Kosher, up until like the minute we were filming. Like, I think we bounced the track out, like the final track that I had to sing to, like the same hour we started filming. Like, that is wild. It was horrifying. But we did it. Like, it now what it is like the fullest iteration of like, here's my story. I'm putting it all out there. And I'm like, me too, hashtag me too. Like, I'm ready to come out with this. So yeah.
Well, and is you say you didn't feel right, but at the time you were still learning how to present the fact that this had come forward, because like you said, you hadn't told your parents you probably hadn't told very many people. So you were still coming to terms with how to speak about it. So now that you've sort of gotten that energy out, now you sort of have that idea a little bit better, which has brought us to this point, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think only before I told my parents, only like two people knew. John, who's my everything. He's like my external hard drive. And a girl that I went to school with who knew the guy and knew what was happening the entire time because we were kids and we did not know the severity of what was going on. But she was like my best friend and my confidant. And yeah, only recently when we were filming a music video for Million Things, which is a great music video that we filmed May before COVID happened. So 60 years ago now, whatever that was. I was borrowing a prop from her. She had like a really cool telephone that we feature in that music video. And I took it from her, like connected with her again, because we hadn't spoken in years. And then when I dropped it back off, I like got up the courage to be like, hey, do you like realize like what went on then? Just out of curiosity, like when was the first time that you like thought of that as an adult, and like did it strike you that what was going on was like as extreme as it was? And she goes like, yeah, like maybe in the last like 3 years I only figured that out. And I'm like, yeah, me too. Yeah, it's crazy how it like just like hits you later on and you're like, oh wow. Grown up now, I guess, right?
Well, and it's that too, is sometimes we don't realize some of these things, and maybe we normalize it even though it shouldn't be normalized in any way, shape, or form. But we just, like we said before, we don't know how to bring it out. So we just sort of like we bury it and then we forget about it. And then like we don't
And then it
realize exactly
finds
what it was.
you. Yeah. And it comes for you and it's like, hold on, we're taking you down with us. I'm like, no, we're bringing this up. We're bringing this up to a visible level. I'm not going back down there. Thank you.
No demons, I'm taking you with me this time.
Yeah. Here we go. I'm exposing you.
I love it. And then you mentioned the music video for this track as well, which is incredibly powerful. I've watched it a few times, and the first time I watched it, just knowing like the meaning behind the song and everything else, it's like, I don't know, it's like I was like brought to tears pretty much, and like my eyes were watering up, and like I could feel for you and the emotion.
Me currently.
It's okay. I understand. And it's very powerful. And you just told us that you had like from right when the song got rendered to like, okay, and now we're shooting this music video, and you produced and directed this music video as well, essentially. So what was it like to bring it to life visually?
I mean, it's the good part is it wasn't my first time. I've done this before for a million things, and I always have a hand in all of it, but I had every hand in everything. It wasn't just like I have a part in it. It's like this was my baby. So I worked with Ian McMillan closely, who's our DOP, and he has worked with us on so many music videos. I think he shot almost everything except for White Rabbit. After Bang was the first one we did together, and that was a wild story too. That was like a 2-day, like nobody got paid at all. We just went to the desert with a sheet of fabric and like danced around for 2 days. It was the wildest experience I've ever had. It was so like we met him day 1 of this timeline. We gathered materials day 2, and then day 3 and day 4 we were in the desert for 2 days filming a video. It was wild. So he's like that kind of a guy. He's like a ride or die. He's my everything music video guy, and we've worked on everything together since then, except for White Rabbit, which we filmed on pretty much zero budget with Mark Kosher, our producer, who's a very talented videographer as well and photographer. And so I'm lucky to have had that experience going into this music video, because otherwise I think I would have been just incredibly overwhelmed. I definitely bit off more than I could chew, for sure, because of the emotional component to this. But like, that's where you level up, right? So you're like, your mind's like, oh my God, like we're not going to make it. We're not going to get there. And you're like, nope, bursting through that ceiling, finding another gear. Cause like, I don't have time to break down about this. Like, this is what we're doing. So I've already committed, timeline and all. But like, yeah, from building the giant pencils to sourcing like yards and yards of that magnetic tape for the web scene to like learning how to make origami to like finding black origami paper in a pandemic, which was really hard to do. And like trying not to use Amazon for anything because, local businesses and like, just like, I want to practice what I preach. Right. And, yeah, even like costume design, like every single little bit of it was my vision for this because I wrote the treatment originally with all these different scenes in mind because I really wanted to play up the duality between the dark and the light, but there's just a beautiful contrast between like my inner child and her innocence and then like what was imposed upon me so viciously and like what that looks like. So one piece that was really important to me was making that costume that we see in the opening scene that's not the dance scene, the opening scene at the desk. And in the airplane room, I have this like awesome material, like holographic see-through jogger suit. And it's like modern and beautiful and like exactly what people might be wearing in a music video right now for sure, like very future forward. But also it's see-through and like I was see-through and like until right now coming to life with this issue, like that's how I felt. I felt invisible. I felt like no one. I felt like I'm literally like matching the wall today in like stand with that because like that's how it felt. Like that's how it was just to be that trapped in that narrative for so long, and like so exposed. Like I think for most of it, I'm not wearing pants for most of it. Like for most of it, I'm in like, the little girl dancing in the airplane room with her white or her pink t-shirt is like, she's my inner child and she's like expressing herself so like vibrantly and beautifully, but like being quashed by these like dark images of like a birthday party, something we think of as really happy, but like everything's black and like there's no one there and you're all alone. And yeah, so I think just like seeing that come to life and like seeing like the overhead with all those pencils pointing toward me and like having the school imagery there to bring that part of the narrative and having the youthfulness there to bring that part of the narrative and then getting to smash the glass and like destroying that wall of just limitations that I've imposed upon myself that's invisible to everyone but me, right? It's just there for me. It's just this little glass box I put myself in and I just busted through like, oh my God. And then you get choked up because like everybody like on set, and there weren't that many people. There were 10 people in a big room for 300 caps. So we were safe, needless to say, with N95s, but like everybody in the room like erupted in like thunderous applause and cheers when that happened. It was so beautiful. Like it was so freeing to have that moment to just like bust through all that's been holding me back, It's awesome.
Which is exactly what you're doing with this version of the song, which very, very powerful imagery inside of this video.
Yeah. It's crazy powerful. It's everything I could have imagined, like while I was folding every one of those paper airplanes, I was like going back to those memories, right? And like thinking about like folding my thoughts and ideas like into these planes, just like I was lying the rocks into the ground in the first 4 months of COVID, right? And like stringing that up to the ceiling is like just watching them leave me. It was really beautiful. It was really special. I actually like, here's a secret thing that I haven't really revealed to anyone yet. I wrote the person's initials in the plane that I'm holding at the desk scene. So like all that is wrapped up in the video. Like it's like very powerful for me. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's incredibly powerful. So I'm glad you had the opportunity to get through, to finally express, to finally do this. And then who's to say how from here, because as musicians, as we know, once we release songs, we don't know who they're going to go on to help. So something of this is, who's to know what mirrors, what glass barriers you might be helping other people who have gone through other vicious and malicious things such as sexual assault.
Yeah. That's why I did it, because I, trust me, would not have gone through this if for any other reason. I kind of like in COVID, I've come to believe that like that feeling in your gut that you get when you know something's right or wrong. I think there's like a version of yourself in the future that's like tapping you on the shoulder that's being like, hey, pay attention. Like learn from this. Like, this is an important moment and you're going to have to revisit this at some point, like learn and grow from this experience. So I think that hopefully I can do that with this video for somebody else if that hits them in the gut and they were like, oh my God, like that's happened to me too. And I didn't realize it, or I've been dealing with this. And like, you're right, this is my sign. I should call Kids Help Phone. I should use the resources available to me, or I should get therapy, or I should see a naturopath, like whatever it is you want to do to like fix yourself for yourself, because you're not broken, but like you're not whole either, right? So finding that like normalcy again, like finding that strength. Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. And I commend you for taking the courage, the strength, the bravery that it takes to take these steps, to be this individual, to try and help other people conquer their own demons. And as we said, their own class barriers. It's incredibly powerful. I'll post some of those numbers down in the description to this video and the link to the podcast. I'll even throw them on the screen too.
Yeah, it's overlaid over the last scene too. Like if you watch it, it's right there. And it's at like a critical moment where I'm like, you know, being stifled by myself or others, you know, whomever, whatever force and entity made me feel that way, you know?
Absolutely. 100%. And like I said, I'm very, very glad that you had the opportunity to express these feelings and to get through them and to take that bravery to take back this narrative for yourself.
Exactly. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It's been it has rocked my world. It has been all encompassing. People are like, oh, what did you do in COVID? I'm like, I was born. I don't know. Like I like grew up, but like I like became my age now, or I went back and like reclaimed my youth. Like, I don't know. Like it's wild. It's awesome. I'm proud of the team that was able to bring this to life, and like the art that we made in this. Like, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever made.
Well, I have to 100% agree with that. And I'm glad John was 100% down to be like, no, this is your feelings. This is your moments. This is something that you've gone through. And yeah, I'm down to help you express this.
He's my rock. He's incredible. He's like the example, like the shining example of like how to be a guy in a cis relationship. He's like, yeah, he's the opposite of everything that came before, which is beautiful. And like karma, you know, too. Like that's awesome. That's so cool.
Yes, I'm glad that you have the opportunity to meet various other people who reflect a different image of the world, so that you can
exactly
that.
Yeah, there's a lesson in all of it for sure. Like it's not all negative. It's definitely like, because this happened, it's like, for me it feels like all positive now, which is crazy. Like even through the tears, like it's all positive, which is what's so empowering about it, right? It's like, it's finally like my story to tell. It's not yours. It's not something that you hold over me. And I honestly don't know if this person will even ever see it, which is crazy. But like I do intend to confront that person, if not by myself, then at least through the entities and channels that exist to do so. But like I have to wait for the right time, which I think will, you know, be sooner than later. But this person can't be around children anymore, certainly.
Absolutely, 100%. Completely agree. But once again, as we said before, you're continuing to conquer these things as you go. And when you're ready, you will be ready.
Yep. Can't wait. I'm ready. I'm ready to be ready.
Well, when that time comes, I wish you the best. I hope that all goes well. And once again, continuing to hopefully save somebody else.
Yeah. Thanks, man. It's been empowering. It's been special.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I am very grateful that you have taken us behind this powerful video, this powerful new version of the song. I want to jump into a few more things, Featurette, and then we can jump back into a little bit more of yourself. And then if you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'd love to not be weepy anymore. That'd be cool. Ask me other questions.
Awesome. So you mentioned Dream Riot on vinyl.
Oh yes. Oh baby. Actually, these colors line up so it's that color. It's that color of translucent vinyl. It is pretty much the sexiest thing that I've ever put into a physical copy of something for sure. Yeah, it's good art. I got to actually I made the cover. I made the cover for it. I made the cover for it in a photography studio, so it's not a digital thing. It's a composite, but it's not a digital thing. The last video we put out before this monstrosity of a thing that we're talking about today was You Do You, which was that's an awesome track. Like that track was like so empowering. That track came to me in a bathtub and I like dripping wet, like ran out of the tub in order to find a notebook and like jot this stuff down and like make a vocal memo to myself, and which was really funny. But we filmed that song with like a bunch of friends in an old cop shop, which was great. And I had in order to introduce every room, because I directed this one too with Ian, I had these clouds that I built for like the big like crux scene of everything, where I had like the F behind me, and it's, you know, the band shots, like your classic like performance shot in a music video or whatever, is a room full of like mirrors and clouds, and very Dream Riot-y, right? Like it like perfectly encompasses that with the strobing lights and everything. It's very much sounds like the album looks and feels. But the clouds that I built is the props for that set. That is actually the cloud that's on the cover of Dream Riot. So I was like in a studio doing photography, and then like that's my actual like hand that I did up with like all this makeup and stuff to make it look all holographic and cool and stuff. It's so fun. I had the most fun making that art. And then the translucent teal vinyl came, and I was like, this is the best thing ever. Yeah, I of course got stomped on by COVID, as previously mentioned, but people have been really nice in supporting us at like, you know, Bandcamp Fridays and stuff, when, you know, 100% of proceeds go to artists. And I highly recommend, if you don't know about Bandcamp Fridays, you should look that up. If you're a music fan, like support Bandcamp, that's cool too, but also support the artists when 100% of the proceeds go to them, especially during such a critical time as COVID, our good friend, COVID.
Our good friend. I'll also suggest that people should probably switch to Tidal as their music streaming service because it pays artists more.
Yes, that 100%. Anything you can do to support artists during this time. We are last on the list as far as humans returning to work. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's always, art will get us through the hard times, but when it comes to supporting the artists, it's like, well, thank you for what you've done.
Thank you. It's been great. Yeah, if you want to support us, there's links in everything we have, but especially like our Instagram. It's got like a link to all the things. You can watch the content. Like we put out videos that I'm super proud of. I'm not even going to try to be modest about that. I think our videos are well above our pay grade, i.e. not paid. But yeah, I think we put out really great content, and I think with every step that we make forward, we're just like on this path to finding whatever the next iteration, the next like evolution of Featurette might be. But yeah, that vinyl is a big part of that story, and it was an undertaking to create that. So if you want to see that art, definitely go buy it. It's cheap enough to afford. I know that it is.
And it looks amazing.
It looks like $1 million, but it retails for like 20 something. Like, yes.
It looks like something you should have on your wall. Like,
yes, absolutely. I should put it on my. Is that too much? No, I have a studio. I can put it on my wall.
I don't think so. I think it's just right?
You should be proud of your art. You shouldn't repress that shit.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna go like find a frame in a dumpster and like put it inside now. Yes.
Go
manifest
repurpose
a frame onto my front porch right now. Like,
yes. Just put it out there. The secret.
100. The secret. So you know. So they told you. Yes.
So they've told. Awesome. So you've mentioned that you also, after a little bit of time of having some creative setbacks, you finally got back into it, which probably means there's some more new Featurette on our way. Yes.
Maybe. I mean, always. Like John and I never stop creating. What's really beautiful about being a duo and being life partners, being married, is that like he is right there, so that I can be like, let's go right now. And sometimes he's like, no, I just want to have a beer and watch hockey. And I'm like, stop being such a dude. Come into the studio with me. And no, I kidding. But we do spend a lot of nights destroying our neighbors' hopes and dreams of sleeping in order to bring really good music. So the stuff that we're writing right now is very cool. It's very like Louis the Child meets Petit Biscuit meets some Billy vibes and some other stuff. And I am for it. We wrote a song recently with Tavish from Carly Rae Jepsen's fold. He wrote like Call Me Maybe with her and stuff. And that was a pleasure. So we wrote this song called Chocolate that is like, it is beautiful stuff. I'm very excited to bring that one into the public eye, but I don't know when that's going to happen. So yeah, it's gorgeous. I'm very excited.
Well, as we said, Dream Riot's not done yet. So I'm sure once we
That's
get
true.
closer to that.
The other side of this is going to be such a train wreck. It's going to be like us on tour, hopefully one day, or like playing a show being like, okay, wait, this came out 1,000 years ago, but also it's brand new because no one's heard it. So if you just want to listen to this, but also immediately after, we're going to be following up with like some banging stuff, right? So I hope my goal is to like play Dream Riot on a tour like we were doing before we were so rudely interrupted by COVID. I like to like give her like a name because she holds such a place in my brain. She needs a personality, But and then like like tease some of the new stuff. That would be my ideal show, is like play Dream Riot and like intersperse it with, but also because I've been busy, Yeah. But I don't think I'll ever go back to playing the old version of The Blame. Like that's a cool song and all, but no, like it's not the song. Like this is what the song was supposed to be. So I think that like, I'd be down to like literally like grab a guitar, like sit in front of the keys with a mic and like try to like cry my way through that on stage. That would be something special. Oh man, I'm going to have to like drill that into my brain on autopilot in order to get through it. It's going to be a toughie.
There'll be parts of the stage show where you just turn away from the crowd and they think you're just like going for really powerful vocals, and it's just like, hold back tears, hold back tears, hold back tears.
Yeah. Blink! Blow your nose powerfully into the microphone. Like those vibes. No, I think if I made it through filming the music video and singing it, I could do it on stage, I think, because that was hard. Like being in the costuming that I set for that, and like being like surrounded by like giant sharp, like intrusive pencils and like caught in a web of like lies and deception and degrading things. Like, oh my God, if I could do that, I can do this for sure. So
absolutely.
Pray for me.
And you can do so much more too. And I can't wait to hear Chocolate and everything else that we're going to have coming our way.
I wasn't supposed to announce anything, but I don't care. I don't give a shit anymore. Like music is music and it's coming at you. Any rules. Yeah.
Exactly. Just have fun with it, right? I think that's the rule.
Yeah. I don't want to be precious about any of it. It's like, I think before when we were making music, there was like an element of mystery to our project. And now that I've done this thing with The Blame, I think like I've like taken the veil away and I'm just like, okay, that's it. You got the story now. Like, this is me. I'm this weird, queer, little, strange artist human. And I have this rock of a man, John, in my life. And that's our story. Like, that's what we do. Sometimes we make music and half the time it's awesome. Half the time it's awesome every time.
Yes. All right, Lexie. Well, I have had a blast chatting so far. I have one last question. Are you ready for it?
Hit me up.
All right. I actually think this is something I've started asking since the last time we joined, so I'm excited to find out. So over this process of the last few years, crafting Dream Riot, of course, and otherwise, and of course, over COVID and crafting this new version, coming more to terms of yourself, and as you said, being born in this last year.
Being born,
baby. How has this process helped you grow, or what has it taught you about yourself?
Like, fuck if I haven't answered that by the long-winded entire interview that
Very
we
true.
just
Very
did.
true.
Yeah. To summarize, I think that I don't care anymore in the most positive and empowering way. Like, it's not that I don't care and I'm just like suck it up, do what I want. Like, I don't care what people think, and that is like the most amazing feeling, because now when I make something, it's what I want to make, and it's not like some manager's idea of like what a pop song like should be. Like, no, like my team right now, like over the past, since Dream Riot, like since like just like when we released that to like everything that happened directly after that, my team is like my best friends. Like, I'm working with people that like care about what we're doing and empower me to not care about what other people think, which is the weirdest like duality there. But it just like has this awesome synergy about it where I'm like free. Like, I don't have to worry about like, oh, is this song 3 minutes and 30 seconds? Like, is the BPM for this like relevant to modern music? Like, oh, like what artist reference do you have for this track? Like, what if they're me? What if it's like the demons in my brain being like, write a song that sounds like this? Like, what if that's enough, you know? So I think that that's like sort of the direction we're going in, is just like, do you. Like, I'm taking my own advice. You do you. Like, that was the last music video we put out until now. It's like, okay, I hear you, girl. Thank you, past self, tapping me on the shoulder, giving me the gut feeling to like move forward in a way where this is it. This is me, and like I'm here. Like, I'm ready. And if it took this long to figure that out, and like not try to be cool, but like just like be cool, because like you are cool. Like what you're doing is awesome, and like trust that. Then like hell yeah, like that's like the evolution that I've had in COVID and past and like future. Like that's where I'm going. Like, if I want to be a crazy cat lady as my brand, like that's it. Like, that's what's cool now. I think that, yeah, I think there's something to be said for like not trying to like chase trends, but just like be whoever the heck you are, because you're going to be so much further ahead trusting your own instinct than like following in the footsteps of something that's already been done, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, as someone who grew up on a farm, who doesn't love a horde of cats?
Who doesn't love a horde of cats? I have a cat gang that I feed outside my door here. Like, every day they come to me and they're like, us too, please. We want to party with the inside cats. And I'm like, I'm living my dream. I'm living my dream riot right now.
Making music, petting kitties. Oh my goodness. What more? What's more to life?
I know. We signed a publishing deal with CCS Rights Management in August, which was like dream, like goal. Because now we're like writing for like other artists, and like other artists are writing with us, and we're writing for like film and television and stuff. And like, like having that opportunity in COVID, and like not worrying about like, when am I touring next? And like letting that go. And like, cause talk to like, 90 or maybe 80% of singers out there. There's a lot of anxiety that comes with being a lead singer on tour. Like, maybe less so if you're like a guy that has really like vocals that is like really raspy, and like you don't have to worry about like being able to sing that day, because your whole brand is you like choking your way through the set or whatever. Because like that's a sound, and I respect that sound, and I love shows like that. But I know for like a lot of like female creatures out there, we struggle with like not getting enough sleep and losing our voice because we got to sing them damn high notes or sing damn power notes or like whatever the heck is going on. So it's been really nice to be able to like rest and like take time to like recharge and like be actually excited about touring, instead of being like excited but like horribly nervous that like it's not going to go right, or like I lost my voice because I partied too hard on that last show, or like I just fucking got so into the show on day 2 that now it's day 10 and like I'm not going to make it, like just giving all that away and like figuring out that like like all those limitations, like we don't have those. Like, if you're on tour, you have the best time, and if you have to choke your way through a set and it's not perfect, like we don't need perfect is boring. Perfect is ugly. Like, nobody likes that. We want to see those weird like quirks and kinks and like little bits that like aren't perfect. I didn't do my hair today for the same reason as that. It's like I've just given it all away. I'm ready to just
Being you. Being you.
Yeah.
It's
With my cats like
fantastic.
sitting on either side of me right now. I'm like, yes, my power people. My little mini dogs trapped in cat bodies.
Just sitting there waiting, like, hey, when are we gonna meet the outside cats? Come on now, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. They're my little. Did you know that cats have like little crystals in their pineal gland? I don't even know if I said that
I
word right.
did not know that they did have that, and I'm pretty sure you
There's
did.
quartz. There's quartz in their like third eye. I think it might be in humans too. I'm not sure. Someone told me that recently, and I looked into it. And it's like apparently somewhat true. And like they're like little crystal diffusers running around my house, being like, "Good vibes only, man." I'm like, "Yeah, like, do you know? That's why."
That makes so much sense now.
Right? Oh man, this has been great.
Oh my
It's always
goodness.
a good time.
Always a good time, always. And I've had a fantastic time diving behind this new powerful version of the blame, diving behind what's new and upcoming with Featurette, and even getting to talk a little bit about some cat crystal magic.
Cat crystal magic. Yeah. I mean, this has been that podcast. It's been the all encompassing podcast. I love it. Thanks so much for letting me be a part of it, man. Seriously, this is great.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for caring enough to ask the questions. Cause like I can only imagine that for like any media outlets out there, it's like, ooh, touchy subject, like hands off, like I'm not expecting a lot of press from this because I think it's a contentious issue. And like, thanks for being brave. Thanks to the listeners for tuning in and caring enough about something like this that like, this can be normalized and conversations can start to be had about these important issues that are like complete game changers, life changers, mind blockers and freers. Like the difference between somebody's freedom and not is having conversations like this. So thanks for like putting that out there. Good vibes.